issue in wrestling that apparently has been bubbling over the last couple of weeks, kind of culminated on SmackDown. Not a show that I watched live or anything, but this Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte promo
Oh
that
shit.
went off the rails. And has kind of been there's a lot of factors surrounding that feud. I think one is kind of looked at as a future, possibly replacement for someone. Charlotte's like, hey, I ain't going nowhere. So there's natural tension there, I would think. Um, Charlotte kind of came out with a talk show appearance where she was discussing her divorce. Of course, the dark Twitter rumors started emerging about exactly what led to such divorce and all this other stuff. And this culminates in the ring, where the nastiness is getting brought to the screen as Tiffany Stratton just completely basically repays Charlotte for what happened a few weeks ago. There was a split screen where Charlotte kind of ambushed her a little bit, and there was nothing she could really do there. And she said, "You may have got me once, shame on me, but you is not get me again." So she was basically like the line kind of culminates like, hey, when I was 25 or when you were 25, you were drinking in your dad's basement trying to be a volleyball player. I'm the 25-year-old world champion, about to be my first WrestleMania. um, you have a 4-3 record at WrestleMania, but I'm gonna make you basically like how you are outside the ring, where you are 0-3. Isn't that the count now, Charlotte? And then woo, and then ducks out the ring because from that point it could get physical, allegedly. And then Charlotte tries to fire back, but clearly stunned. The Russian was cut at this point. And she was like, "Yeah, man, this is why Kaiser's in my DMs and all this stuff." And it was just like too little, too late. And this was nasty. And this match has the potential to be, you know, I just hope they get the match in the ring. Ciara, have you followed this?
Unfortunately, I've seen the clips over and over. And it is not good. Um, it bothers me because I love Charlotte. I've been up for Charlotte since day one. Because I've seen the potential. I've seen that she would morph into this. Tiffany Stratton, she's came a long way from what I possibly thought at the time would happen. Um, but this is the problem. They're forcing this. They're forcing the I'm the new blonde. You got to go against me. It's very much, it does not need to happen. They don't need to be together. They're too like of a personality. A lot of people don't realize this is like, if you really break it down, they're the same person, just with different circumstances. Um, they should never cross paths. It's sometimes I wish that they would take a little bit of understanding from the Divas division of when you had Beth Phoenix on one roster, you had Michelle McCool on the other roster, and then that one time they put them together in the ring, it was a good match. But when they broke them down and realized Beth Phoenix was also a heel and doing the same thing as Michelle McCool, shaming the other girls on the roster for being lack thereof, it didn't work when they tried to do the program. So what happened? They had to make Beth Phoenix babyface. They had to. And it worked. But then it went back to shit when they put her and Natalia together, and that didn't do anything because there was no one against them that would be the comeuppance because they had them going against heels that were the same person. So it's one of those things like I'm sitting there watching it, both of their body language in the ring. They didn't want to do this. They did not want to talk to each other. They were sitting there looking at each other like, ah, should I say this? Ah, go ahead.
Charlotte damn near quit in
And
the middle of the promo after the crowd was getting on her. Couldn't sell it or hide
Damn
it at
near.
all.
girl, that's what I would do. I would have took your microphone down through my heels and said, I quit. What can they do? They would have to change the whole storyline. Like, they could have done this so much better. Like,
How many
especially if they're
times is
trying to
Charlotte gonna quit in the middle of a promo?
but make that her thing. Why not? Why not? She's been there. Charlotte's been with that company since they rebranded as NXT, the
Right.
original NXT.
Right.
So is Becky, so is Bailey, Sasha's down Mercedes Monet. At some point, it's you got to change the character, but she's so well embedded as who she is. So then when you bring somebody else that's pretty much supposed to be the replacement, but they're not really holding up the candle to be that. I don't know if they're trying to do a passing of the torch thing, but this is not. It's not good.
Charlotte
It's
not
pretty
trying to
much
pass
like
no torch.
no, but that's the thing. She's not trying to pass the torch, but at the same time, I don't know if it's because she feels, as she said in that interview, she feels like she's a failure and didn't do as much as she should have, especially when she had to take all that time away with all her personal issues and stuff. I don't know if she's being extra hard on herself, but for me, it's like you've done everything. Unless
She
you want to go back into a role and be Natalia number two, what else are you gaining? Move around, leave, explore other options, like
I think I've seen
anything.
her make comments before about it basically being a thing with women, like where she's trying to compete at a more advanced age. Like, why do I have to stop at a certain time? Why, you look at the guy wrestlers and they can hang
Mm,
around so they're 40, 45. Like, I think she wants that same opportunity. And this stuff, like the longer she sticks around, this is just a preview of what's gonna keep happening. James.
yeah.
she can't pass the torch because her two heir parents don't want to work with her anymore.
Hmm.
They'd rather do a three with Io Shirai. She's already burnt those bridges. That's the problem. The problem is when she looks in the mirror, she sees all of her problems. She's caused this. This is of her own making. From the horsewomen to Bianca to Rhea, they don't want to work with her no more because they know how she gets down. They know she does shit like how she did to Tiffany Stratton, and that's why they put her with Tiffany Stratton. And now Tiffany Stratton is trying to deal with this political monster that she's never had to deal with it in this kind of like high leverage situation, and then you end up with this in the ring over the last couple of weeks, or on TV in the last couple of weeks. It's been a fucking disaster, and Charlotte keeps having these disasters on TV, whether it's her trying to slap around fucking Nia Jax or her dropping the fucking belt during the belt exchange a couple years ago with Becky Lynch. This is all. She's always in it. She's always in it. Like
Rhea
before,
Ripley, not a
they,
fan. Why
yeah,
would she be?
like it's always a problem, and it's always involving her. And until she can figure out, you know, that she needs to chill the fuck out and stop being so competitive or doing the things she does when she's fucking 5'10" and she shows up out here in these fucking 6-inch heels all the goddamn time to do these face to face with people. She's fundamentally trying to sabotage her the people she's going against.
Yeah, it's nasty, man.
Always.
It's nasty. Like, and it's
And
like,
then luckily she'll, it's time for a big match. She'll go out there and have a killer match. And people forget and move on. And then she'll go away and then she'll come back when it's time for another big match. And that's the kind of thing she's been on the last couple years. It's like she's almost like a part timer.
and part of me like thinks like the office is like kind of condoning this stuff. Like, this isn't kosher. Like, to because ultimately these are people showing up to
Yeah.
work their jobs, right? And
And she
this
ain't
is the
never
height
and
of
she ain't never
toxicity.
did nothing. And she ain't never did nothing to be able to absorb doing all this shit. Like it'd be one thing if it was Becky Lynch doing all this shit, if it was Rhea doing all this shit because they actually became big stars, they actually moved numbers or whatever else in viewership. She's never been that person. Remove merch. She's never been that person ever.
She's been the office's
I
pick.
think I think with Charlotte, the issue that kind of holds her back is she has the same issue as her father. Um, for a long time, they're the darling. They're everything comes to them. They get whatever opponent they want. They get whatever match they want. They get. whoever, everything is at their beck and call. But then there becomes a point when you go back and look at stuff from the old territories, even when you watch documentaries, you see there becomes a point where the territories were phasing Rick out, especially the NWA, not because they didn't like Rick, but because they were trying to move in other people in that space. He
Flair
had done
Sting.
everything.
Sorry, Luger
Right,
Sting. Yeah.
right. So he had done everything. He had all the top opponents.
Mm-hmm.
He had everything. He had the money. He had, the limousines, the jet flying, everything. So Charlotte, she got that as just because of who her father is. And yes, she busted her ass just as much as everybody else. But the problem is with Charlotte is that they handicapped her so bad politically that she was used to saying what she wants and getting it and not understanding you have to adapt. Becky Lynch has adapted to every circumstance that's been thrown at her way, motherhood, marriage, everything. Charlotte has not. Bailey has also. Um, Mercedes Moné went on elsewhere, you know, and
Well, when you say that it's easier to do when you're not one of the favorite children, so you got to get out in the mud, and it's opposed to her is like, oh, I just go out and get whatever I want, so I ain't got to make no adjustments. You adjust to
right,
me.
right. And that's why I think that Charlotte is handicapped. The company did that to her. Um, I feel like, especially during that whole NXT upstart, yes, you had Natalia, you had your Sarah Del Rey's, you had plenty of women that came from the indies of influence that traveled the world to explain, like, hey, this is how you move around, this is how you politic, this is how we're going to book things. But because they saddled on her so early and put her in that position, they did not make her understand that, hey, eventually one day you're going to be on the other side of somebody else that we're going to put in your place, basically. And this is how you got to maneuver it.
This is the
She
child
doesn't
they
know how to
raised.
maneuver it because she doesn't know how to maneuver it because for her, she went away to college. She came back home and she said, "Who is this? When did we get another child? What do you mean we're siblings?" She's bewildered. And age, yes, age a long time ago with the women in the business played a part in it. But there's been so many women over the last 15, 20 years that proven age is not a thing. Yes, in WWE it was. Natalia is proven that is not a thing anymore. But for Charlotte, she hasn't adapted. And that's going to be against her, and that's the problem with her legacy is that the last couple of years of when she's working, we're going to be sitting back analyzing it and being like, they could have done something else more with Charlotte, but instead this is what we got.
It's like she should have came back. Like I think just the lack of changing anything about herself, and whether that's her idea or the company's idea that they see her as, it's like, they could have had her come back as kind of like, not wearing the robes and change the ring gear, like make it more like sporty or like put a leather jacket on or just try something else, like.
Why would we do that when the only reason why we've ever pushed her is because she's Ric Flair's daughter, and we've sold the whole idea that she's gonna break her record one day? Like
Yeah.
that's
Well,
been the thing since 2015.
Yeah.
Like that's been the plan since 2015, and over the last decade they've never seen any reason to change it, and now they're almost at the end. Why would they change it now? They finna get her through here. They finna file off some movie similar to probably like the Page movie or whatever else for her, and then they finna ship her ass off into the sunset.
I mean, I have a good idea and a theory, but follow me along here because my brain is a little mush. Um, at this point in her career, because I said the last time she was on that roster before she took a break and did whatever and came back looking like Carmella slash Iggy Azalea. I don't know what's going on, baby, but I
I
don't like it. Don't like it.
we don't talk
So
about
when
we don't talk
Yes.
about that stuff with Charlotte. We leave that alone. That ain't for us.
right, I don't. It's
We stay out of women's business on that one.
Yep.
it's
That,
not
that's
even.
for
It's
that's for the
not even
women's.
what I'm saying. What I'm saying is not even here. Like the face. What I'm saying is like outfits, everything. I don't know what's going on because what we were seeing prior to her break. I said to somebody on Twitter, I said, I don't know what it is, but Charlotte kind of looks like and is kind of pulling off outfits that are reminiscent of Cher. And if you know anything about Cher, Cher was the original diva. So for me, it's like, okay, she's doing the whole Cher thing, and I think she kind of leaned into it. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. She's their Cher. She's their, we can throw her out there against this person, our old faithful. For me, if that's going to be the case, let her be old faithful. Baker ain't there no more. Let her be the Mania match for the women. You newcomer coming to the roster, challenge the big boy. Your Cher. Why not?
But if you do that, then you got to make her undefeated at WrestleMania.
We can do that easily. Squash Tiffany.
Yo,
Start it there.
It's amazing you said
Get it out the
Cher.
way.
Okay, before any of this stuff happened, right? Before any stuff happened, did anyone expect or anyone think that Tiffany had a shot at winning?
You know,
I thought she was getting fed to the chipper. Or the wood chipper. I thought she was getting fed to the wood chipper there at Charlotte Flair. I thought that was happening.
Charlotte is winning the Royal Rumble to come back to lay the shoulders. Like it don't seem
right. Like I'm coming back, and you want me to lose? I just won't show up then.
Like unless the result of all this is them wanting to put Tiffany over, and Charlotte's been acting up because of this. That's the only other. That's the only other thing there.
But I mean, they could easily do something like that with Charlotte. Because I mean, it's just
we need Charlotte.
I feel like she has she has a place there on that roster. It's just that everything else is just not working with her. She's gone against Bianca. She's gone against almost everybody except for the new ones that they're bringing up. So how many times are you going to have the new Young Buck challenge Charlotte? Do that Mania. Give her one match.
This part, right? As you just mentioned. She's already wrestled everybody. And she ain't there. And in all them NXTers that are going to have to learn the ropes or the road, touring, all that kind of stuff. Where do we stop here when we're in this European city? That kind of thing, right? When you think about it, she ain't there, so who's gonna be teaching them? The people that Charlotte has agreed she's all aggrieved. So of course they're gonna come in and be like, like my vet got beef with you. I'm inheriting that, or I'm on guard for the bullshit with you. So like her not being around, all this stuff turns into this like what do you call it? Like self-fulfilling prophecy of things are going to go wrong because the earth's been salted, and even the new plants are dealing with people are learning from the other salted ground. So it's all gonna be bad. There's never gonna be anything that grows.
But that happened the same way with Taker. The difference is with Taker, everybody was scared of Taker. That was different, but that shit happened with him. You just didn't hear about it until years later after people got comfortable. But
sure,
I mean, they can with Charlotte.
Sure, but there's also this part where like Undertaker was helping draw WrestleManias. Charlotte's never done that. You know what I'm saying? Like the difference is like there are things for Undertaker for why he will come back and continue to do these things or whatever else. Charlotte ain't helping them draw another 1,000 tickets.
No, but I mean, Mania, especially now with they're making it with 2 shows and stuff, there's gonna be so much more on the card than just Charlotte. That's my thing. Like I just feel like if you can't do something with her, do something like that. It makes me think back.
You're trying to come up with solutions. I get you.
Yeah, like solutions, because it makes me think of like Shimmer before they went down. The last couple of years, they did the same thing with cheerleader Melissa. She had won the world title.
Yeah, they made her attraction.
Right. So she had won the title. She had wrestled everyone since 2005, multiple times on the indies elsewhere. So there became a point where it's like, okay, we announce her for the card, her, Mercedes Martinez, and whoever else has been there since Shimmer started, right? Let's make her attraction. Let's make her okay, you new here? All right, you're good? Get in the ring with Melissa. Let's see how good you are.
Yeah.
Made her attraction.
Because it's similar to like what's happened in the last 2 years with like Arisa Nakajima and Sealand for to retire last year, and then like Tsukasa
Yep.
Fujimoto since she's came back. And she's been
Yep.
champion many times, so now so it's like, all right, she's here to like, you got to face her at some point. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, like it's pretty much. I always call it the barometer test to
Yeah.
see where if you can really hang with the veterans and the ones that's in between almost veterans. And I feel like she could benefit in that role, but it's just a thing of she's not going to want to do that if she's always had everything her way. But it's like it can't always be like that because they can't progress with any of those divisions in that way. They can't.
Right. It could because there's less opportunity in those divisions compared to their male counterparts. Yeah.
Then we're gonna have about 6 or 7 more of them come out in the next couple of years. Like I quit the company because
yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
Are you ready for the Kailani Kai shoot interview? Ready for that?
Man, I'm gonna be sitting there with my cold cup of coffee and be like, man, I'm too old for this shit, but let me turn it on.
The Soul Roka shoot interview.
Charlotte just wouldn't bounce for me. She just wouldn't do it.
So, like,
what does Becky Lynch think of all this? She's got to be dying laughing, right?
You know, yeah, Becky, like I knew she was gonna come back and fuck it up. I knew she was. It's a matter of time she fuck it up. She can't help herself. I can't do the Becky accent. I can't. She can't help herself. She just can't help herself. That's exactly what Becky was saying. She probably said to herself like she can't help herself except like, yeah, I know. You told me.
Unless they're gonna put them together when she returns.
Yeah, man.
I hope not.
There's got to be an intervention with Charlotte, man. It'd be like, all right, what you want to do?
They're gonna treat it like they make the band skit with it was like, look, you can make the team or you can not make the team. Like you made the song, or you can not make the song. Like she gonna have to come. She gonna have to at some point figure out how to like get some self-awareness about it and be like, look, man, I understand how you feel or whatever, and you have every right to feel that way because this company has enabled you in this way, but the times have changed, and you at this point, you need to read the locker room, or you need to leave the company. Like, it's one of the two.
Just look
and
around.
I gotta say, if she leaves the company, it's not gonna be any better in AEW. Because Mercedes is already there. Mercedes are, you know, how many times you see what Mercedes is doing with everybody, and I guarantee you, everybody loves working with Mercedes. You think like Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander and Megan Bain and Tony Storm, especially Tony Storm.
I don't think she was.
No,
you
would be coming in doing a job to someone.
Look, she might come in with heat like CM Punk had after Brawl Out. Just come in and nobody wants to work with you. You know, I said it back. There'll be one person that will work with her because no one wants to work with her. It'll be Charlotte Flair and Britt Baker.
They will be friends.
I'm already
oh my god, yeah.
I'm already dreading to see.
Oh, that's the new tag team. That's the new tag team right there. Yeah. I would not want her in AEW, and it's nothing against that roster because that roster is stacked. Maybe 10 years ago, I would see it all working with all of them. But you got to think it's been 10 years of her having her political power. And she's a completely different person. That. Right. I could see her, honestly, working better in Japan. Because
I
guess better anywhere.
No, name the place.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Well, I mean,
name the place I can be mad at you.
Well, okay. First of all, we have Stardom. I mean, Rosie Ogawa is not going to take your bullshit. Okay.
So no Marigold.
I mean, that man has lived.
No Marigold for her.
Look, Ogawa has worked with some of the worst and most politically corrupt wrestlers in the business. This ain't nothing. That's a walk in the park.
Send it to the big flower then.
I'm saying. Michael is not going to deal with her in Sendai. I already know that. Oz Academy, why not? Ozaki needs another.
They ain't got no money for this. The yen is down. Stop it. You in the Oz Academy. Stop it.
Why not? Anything. I feel like she would do fine there. Because the thing is with Charlotte, And a lot of wrestlers that depart from WWE that had their political power, even WCW, when they go to Japan, they have to have those structures over there to control them. Otherwise, like on the indies, like how many times we see people get let go from the company and go in the indies and wild out. And then we hear the story like, man, he was cutting up over here for $20. And it's because they don't have somebody telling them, like, nah, you want to take the finish in this match. You want to take the pin. That's it.
If
They
she
don't have
go
that.
over there to Oz Academy and try to start some shit,
Aja Khan is going to back fist her into hell. She's
Look,
going to have to
it
deal with
won't
it.
even be Aja Khan that will get to her. It'll be one of those multiple people that are in like 5 different promotions. It'll be team 200 kg. It'll be Hashimoto and you that handle her.
Yeah,
I think we're
I feel like
missing
she would
a
do
spot.
It
well.
won't even get to Sekigun.
I think we're overlooking a place for Charlotte. It was a place that welcomed Tessa Blanchard, CMLL. We know it's Charlotte. She might feel comfortable in the surroundings. Romantically.
I don't know about that because I'm gonna be honest with you. If she goes CMLL, she might burn that whole place down. Because CMLL be letting people fight, all kinds of unnecessary illegal things have happened to CMLL. So it made sense when Tessa went there. So it was like, well, I mean, yeah, of course, yes. I mean, I can't see her, especially with the new regime that they have in TNA going on. I can't see
Don't
Charlotte
matter. Can't go to
working
TNA.
there.
TNA is baby WWE.
Yes, but what I'm saying is like with that roster, I don't know who she would be able to work with on that roster that would not whip her ass with that shit. Um,
No,
it's
don't
not like a
matter.
few years
It's
ago.
a check.
Yeah, like it's not. It's a little different from when Gail Kim and them were there. It was a little more controlled. Now we've got a different regime. We don't know who's over it at this point.
Maple Leaf.
It's just there.
Charlotte in AAA. Oh my God.
Nah,
Slash
hold on.
size in the comments.
That'd be
Hold
Second Star
Hold on.
2.0.
Hold on. Maple Leaf.
Maple Leafs got the
Yeah.
more.
What do you say?
So Maple Leafs got the more.
Right.
MLW.
MLW.
Court Bauer.
All right.
Okay.
MLW. Last chance you. We going all the way to damn. We going to last
Crack the
chance
Charlotte
you.
code.
No. I think there's at a certain point where she just says, "I'm just retiring." Right?
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
there's options.
She's not taking the Northeast Wrestling. She's not doing that. She's not doing the GCW.
Child, if she did GCW, I would know something wrong.
Right.
I'd be like, what is happening in the house?
Rick,
come get your kid.
What you say?
I said, is there a dependency if you in GCW? That we don't know about. Are you having personal problems?
I'd be like, Rick, can you come get your child? Be a dad.
So
please.
Late for that.
Yeah, man. I just think about Charlotte and where she's at in her career, and I think she looks around like I feel like she should be able to look around the locker room and just notice like who's not there anymore and all the new faces. Because like Charlotte was gone as like the transition happened, right? She was there briefly, injured, come back. Bailey's working as a tag team wrestler, just so far away from prime time. Yeah, like it's like as you mentioned, Mercedes is gone.
It's crazy how that did to her when she carried this business through the pandemic. Like people like to claim she did.
Yes.
Mercedes is gone. Becky can't get a storyline that is worth a damn. So they just like, all right, just hang out at the crib, miss a whole WrestleMania for this.
Do you think Becky's acting like an acclaimed actress and like they send her scripts and she read these scripts? No, throws them in the trash. Send me something else, man.
Right.
They be like,
she's like,
we want to get you on this show. What does it look like? We haven't came up with a plan. Let me know what the plan is. Reason can finally get the plan. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, she's kind of like the Sally Field of, she ain't gonna do it if she don't like it.
Right.
And like I just see Charlotte. It's like just realize the surroundings have changed. Like it's not all the same, but
that's what I'm saying. She hasn't adapted, and that's the sad part because she just saw herself under that company's umbrella. She didn't see a difference outside of it, like whereas Becky has experienced it, Bailey has experienced it, Mercedes
Right.
experienced it, and know that there is more.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't see that. So now
Right.
she's stuck.
Well,
She didn't have to like wrestle outdoors against Kyoko Kimura. She didn't have to do that. Becky did.
No. No, she didn't have to, be against no name on a random show in the middle of Pennsylvania at 2 a.m. talking about, yeah, let's have a 5-star classic. What? No, she didn't have to do that.
Charlotte's
So she's stuck.
Charlotte's been a big part
She
of.
she didn't get she has not been flown in to go to do shows over the weekend by people that like secretly are signed or brought her in just because they want to fuck her. That hasn't happened yet. That's not. I don't think that's a thing yet. That happened to
No,
them.
not yet. That's what I'm saying. Make her the taker.
Man,
Do every Mania we see her landing in the plane, come out jet flying. I mean, you gotta live it up.
So
Why not?
how do we get her? How do we get her something the equivalent of like the Undertaker gong when it hits off, where it's like you know what it means? Like you are now stuck trapped into a WrestleMania season with Charlotte Flair. Lock in.
I think it's just that first one.
Yeah, you just hear the music.
Can we give her like how they used to do? They put the sting for Flair's woo when he was in WWE. Can we have her woo at the beginning of her shit? To get her woo, and every time and then like,
Just have
oh
her.
no, like
When somebody wins
sorry.
Yeah, like just have her like just appear on stage with the robe and everything on Woo. She's out there. Have the person point at the sign. That because that sign don't really mean that, but like they going against her. And then
Oh,
every Mania
man.
we had the same montage of her getting off a plane. No, she's not really getting off a plane. But like just to play up the shits and giggles, play into the kayfabe character. And then have her each year come out there with a attire inspired by Cher, because that seemed like she was doing for a while. And I mean, have her VH1 Divas moment every year.
Once you mentioned the share thing, my thought was like, oh my god, I finally get it because like her frame and how tall she is, like I could absolutely
Yeah.
see like what you mean. I absolutely get what you mean, except she's not obviously doesn't have black hair, but I
No,
get exactly what you
I
mean.
would. Right. Like, I feel like just play into it. Fucking, why not? If you don't want
Hey,
to do it,
also
Charlotte,
by the
do it,
way,
Becky.
share on her TV show, she had some fits. She was getting fits off.
Yeah.
She was
But I
getting
mean,
fits off.
even if they don't want to do it, Charlotte, do it to Becky. Make her, to beat the man, you gotta beat the man.
How much longer do you guys think Charlotte lasts in WWE?
How much longer her contract?
Didn't she just sign a new one or
will she
something?
make it to 2027?
She's making however long
I
that
hope.
contract is.
That's what I'm saying. Because didn't she just sign a new one not too long ago?
I have no idea.
No idea on Charlotte.
Because see, now I can't remember when she first signed with that company. It was a 5-year deal. Because that's when they were doing 3-year, 5-year deal when they were bringing in through NXT. And I think she signed a 5. And then when it
I'm sure
came to resign, I
I
think
imagine she
she
signed a
signed for
5 at
5
some
again.
point. I imagine she signed a
Yeah.
5 at some point since AEW's existed because they were trying to sign up everybody to 5-year deals at some
Yeah.
point, like in around
So I'm pretty sure she
2019 and
signed
20.
again.
Okay.
So I'm not sure at this point. I mean, I hope she didn't do an ironclad deal of like 10 years. I hope she didn't. I hope she didn't. I hope no one does that
It
anymore in
says she
wrestling.
re-signed maybe December 2023. So
Oof. She might have another 5.
2028.
No one in
Right.
wrestling should be
countdown is
signing
on.
any 10-year deals. Nothing. There's too much wrestling around. Too much. Go make your money.
The countdown is on.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess that's a good place.
No, I got a question. When Charlotte gets inducted into WWE Hall of Fame, right? Who's doing her induction speech and why? And
You know who?
Triple H.
Rick.
We can't be
Oh
so
my God.
we can't exactly be so sure that Ric Flair will be around for that.
Then it's Triple H.
We
All right.
will have Rick in a enclosed case where he gets oxygen and wheel him up.
Now here's my question. How come we're sure that it's one of those two and not any women? Don't you think that's kind of telling?
Well, there's a alleged rumor that women don't like each other.
All right, Rich. It's time to.
I'm not saying
It's time,
this is true.
it's time to wrap this show up before Ciara start bringing her foot off in your ass. So
It's an
I mean,
alleged
it could be
rumor.
one of the women,
What's
but
up?
it could also be one of those situations of where they have done that in previous times of Hall of Fame inductions and had the girls forcefully induct someone that they have nothing with. So it could be one of those things. It'll be a random like Joe Schmo from the Indies that just got there and they're like, "Hey, you're inducting Charlotte." And she's just like, "Charlotte started wrestling when I was in like preschool." It can be one of those
Oh
situations.
man,
Charlotte would hate that. She would hate that.
Like
it ain't gonna be
far
Tiffany
of
Stratton.
removed, don't know shit about her career, just knows that she was on TV when she was 5.
Wow.
I grew up watching you. Oh, she'll hate that. She would hate that.
Oh, she would. Look, she lucky. Look, Charlotte might take her life force, take that woman's life force like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat.
Okay. And then come out there for the Mania match.
But yeah, I guess that's a good place to leave it. Ciara